Palpatine was actually the reason that Padme became the Queen of Naboo. Well, so here's where things get started. Palpatine was at Coruscant at some type of festival. Note, this was during the time that he was a senator, but he would become Chancellor in the following few months. Palpatine began talking to the Amidala parents. These are the parents of Padme that appear in the Attack of the Clones deleted scenes. Well, Padme's parents in this book are described as generous and good people. They cared about helping others in need. Palpatine used this to his advantage because those traits made them easy for manipulation. Palpatine glanced at Padme. She was having fun with a friend in the distance. This is where Palpatine proposes the idea to her parents that she should run for queen. While her parents know that she is very talented, they certainly weren't expecting something like this, and especially a recommendation from the senator of their planet. Now, the Amidala family tells Palpatine they will take this recommendation into consideration. That's all Palpatine needed, because he was well aware that once they told Padme about this opportunity, she would immediately strike on the opportunity. That was what he was counting on. Well, why did Palpatine even want her to be queen? Well, Chancellor Valorum needed money because the Republic was in debt and didn't have the cash to spend. So Valorum decided to tax the free trade zones. Well, that is a pretty bad move on his part. However, his entire portrayal in Star Wars was a weak ruler that only cares about his legacy. So Palpatine, hearing this news about the free trade zones being taxed, sends a communication to Nute Gunray, and no joke tells Nute Gunray that he is a Sith Lord. Why does he do this? Well, he wants to start an alliance with the Trade Federation, and he's doing this to show his power. However, even Palpatine thinks announcing that he's a Sith Lord is pretty reckless, and he's only doing it because he was ordered by his master, Plagueis. He tells the Neimoidians that soon there will be an opportunity to blockade a planet. Palpatine says they can blockade Naboo when he says so. He explains to Nute Gunray that he can send his droids down to force a soon-to-be-elected queen to sign a treaty that lets them exploit Naboo's natural resources. This sounds good for Gunray and the Trade Federation, because they can exploit Naboo and trade freely. So what's Palpatine's motive? Well, his motives are a little more subtle. If this treaty passes, it shows that Valorum is weak and has no power to control the galaxy. Palpatine will also make lots of money on monopolizing Naboo's resources. So there's one problem: the King of Naboo. He was reckless and a little egotistic, however he was strong with his words and people followed him. A well-established king versus an up-and-coming teenage politician. No matter how hard Padme tried to make this dream of becoming elected a reality, it would be a failure. Or would it? See, Palpatine and Plagueis anticipated that she would lose a fair election. However, it's easy to say, Palpatine and Plagueis did not play by the rules. So you may think, maybe Palpatine and Plagueis started rumors about the king, or something meticulous like that. No, actually Plagueis went into his home, broke in, ran to the king's bed, woke him up, had a short and not very sweet conversation with him, then killed him. So this led to Padme becoming the Queen of Naboo. Palpatine's plan worked, trying to import a teenager to the throne. However, Palpatine's plan backfired a lot. First of all, he believed she would cripple under the threat of the blockade in Episode 1. She did not, and she proved to be stronger and more fierce than expected. And Palpatine wanted her assassinated a numerous number of times, which also failed. So was Palpatine's plan even a success? It's really up to how you interpret it. It may surprise you, but I say his plan worked, just not in the way he intended it to. See, she would have far stronger use than treaties. She married Anakin, and they met because she was the queen. And as we all know, Anakin's love for Padme is what made him fall to the dark side in the first place. But there are a few angles for interpreting if her being appointed was a success or failure for the plans of Palpatine. You may be surprised to hear that some plans were not shared between Palpatine and Plagueis. Plagueis, upon hearing that a child named Anakin was taken from Tatooine and brought to Coruscant, made him start scheming possibilities. Plagueis heard that this small child had an enormous midichlorian count, and Plagueis had the dark idea that he was going to kidnap Anakin and make him his new apprentice. So because Anakin was not in the Jedi Order, he rushed to the quarters where the royals of Naboo were currently staying, and banged on the doors. A young Naboo lady answered. Plagueis chose the option to portray himself as Higo Damask, who at this point was just a retired old banker. He requested to speak to Anakin. Obviously, for security reasons, the lady declined. Plagueis sort of broke out of character and demanded for Anakin, which at this point, she revealed that Anakin had just been picked up by Qui-Gon Jinn to go to the Jedi Council. Anakin's life was minutes away from being totally different. Plagueis' plan failed, but it's interesting to wonder what may have happened if his plan was a success. Let me know if you know any other plans between Palpatine and Plagueis, or plans that they just didn't share. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.